Hi guys, it's Greg and Janet of Strange RV Tours, and we're starting a new series of videos that we're gonna call Flix with the Hicks. And we're gonna be reviewing some movies that we've seen on DVD because we inherited a collection of 4,000 DVDs, and we're full-time RVers. There's a lot of other people out there that are full-time RVers, and when you're full-time in an RV, you a lot of times don't have access to a good TV signal or direct TV, so you're only
satellite.
Yeah, so you end up watching movies on DVD. So hopefully this will help people figure out which movies at least we like best, or the ones that we like worst, and maybe it'll help them pick out the movies to see. Now the reason we're calling it Flix with the Hicks is because one of our viewers called us a couple of Hicks. And I started thinking about it, and I thought, you know what? They're right. Janet and I have both lived in big cities for a good portion of our life. But our families are both from the sticks. And we tend to talk
like Hicks.
Yeah, like Hicks. Both of us have always been blue-collar workers. So maybe it'll give you a little different perspective on movies. Who knows? We'll see. But do you want to say the movie that you chose this week?
Okay. Well, we're not Siskel and Ebert, but we've been watching a lot of freaking movies, man. So we thought, okay, what's your favorite? What's your favorite? Why don't we share it with our viewers? So this is one of my favorites, y'all. Psycho. Yeah. And you know what? It's awesome. I used to just see the scene in the shower, you know, that's notorious. But this 1960 movie was groundbreaking for the slasher movies. I'm serious. This was like the first real slasher movie type movie. And it's a thriller. And it opened the doors for a lot of other things too, like the main characters are having an affair, you know, they weren't married type thing. That kind of was groundbreaking too. But Alfred Hitchcock, he does some really cool stuff anyway. But this was awesome. Psycho, Norman Bates. They even have at University City in LA, they even have a whole setup with the scenes from this movie. The Bates Motel, that kind of thing. Let me give you an outline of the story. I don't want to give it all away because you got to watch it, okay? There's this lady, Marion. She's had an affair with this guy named Sam. They want to get married, but they don't have the money for it. She's working her fanny off all these years. This client at her office pays $40,000 cash, and she's supposed to go take it to get, you know, to the bank or it was a safe deposit box, something like that. And instead, she takes off with the money. It's $40,000. And back in the 60s, you know, that's a lot of money too. But anyway, she takes off. She's got this California patrol guy is curious what's going on with her and kind of following her a little bit, so she gets another car, and then she goes on down and she ends up at the Bates Motel, and she meets Anthony Perkins, which is a great actor.
He was perfect for that role.
Yeah. Norman Bates, he was perfect for that role. He was. And anyway, she goes there, ends up, he's got his mother in the house that's like always screaming, and Janet Leigh plays Marion. You know, she's there. She hears his mom screaming and yelling at him all the time. Well, I don't want to give away the whole story. It's hard to go through this without telling you the whole story. Anyway, he ends up killing her in the shower, and that scene is notorious. You know, you're laughing at me, but I'm so excited because I really like this. Marion's boyfriend, along with Marion's sister, which is Lila, they go and they're trying to find Marion, the girl, you know, the one that got killed. But also, a detective was hired to go find her too. Well, anyway, he ends up dead. The whole story is amazing. The whole story came out in 1960. It was written by Stefano, what was his name? Joseph Stefano. And then the novel was by Robert Bloch, or B-L-O-C-H. I don't know. Bloch. And it made 50 million bucks, y'all. Back then, that was awesome. But it didn't get that much notoriety. You know, later on it did. And it's almost like a cult movie now, sometimes. But there's been 3 sequels, number 2, number 3, and number 4. There's been other little series started. But the original is the original. There's remakes of it. I've never seen any of the remakes. You said you saw a remake.
Yeah, and that actually helped me with reviewing this one, because I saw the original years after I saw the remake. And the original was much better than the remake.
Aren't they always?
Even though the remake was in color and modern, it did not hold up to the original. Right.
But as far as a psychological thriller and groundbreaking and another thing, I'm named after Janet Leigh. Okay. All right. So yeah, I think she's wonderful anyway, but I'm named after her. That's another thing. But as far as my ratings on this, it's one of the best classic thrillers ever, I think. And I'd give it like, I don't know, 1% to 100%.
0 to 100.
0 to 100. Okay, I'd give it. That's pretty good. But I've seen, as far as a movie in general, not just because it's a classic, I liked it that much. I'd give it probably 95. I mean, I know it's an older movie and it's not got all the, you know, crazy graphics and, you know, specialty filming stuff, but the whole concept of the movie is awesome. And, you know, and I don't know. Norman Bates, well, Anthony Perkins did a great job. You know, Janet Leigh was awesome. The guy that played Sam was awesome. The whole storyline, that's how I feel about it. So, you guys, watch this one. It's good. Okay, your turn. What about it?
I would give Psycho, I would give it a 90. I would give it a 90.
Really?
Yeah. It was a very good movie. Very good movie. Very entertaining. And it has stood the test of time.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right. So, my movie.
Yeah.
I chose to review The Hustler with Paul Newman. Made in 1961, nominated for 8 Academy Awards. It was groundbreaking for its time. The main actors are Paul Newman, Jackie Gleason, George C. Scott, Piper Laurie. I think Myron McCormick was Paul Newman's partner in the film. But the movie itself, I've seen bits and pieces of it on TV all my life, but I never sat down to watch the entire film. When I watched the entire film for the first time, I ended up watching it a second time. It was that good, just a few days later. It reminds me of a play more than a feature film, because it's shot in such few locations. And with a play, you have to really count on very good acting. And there was not a person in this movie that was not or did not give a great performance. Paul Newman was fantastic. This movie made me realize just how great an actor Jackie Gleason was.
Yeah, he was good too, huh?
You know, George C. Scott was great also. I mean, George C. Scott, known for Patton, but he was fantastic in The Hustler. And basically the movie is about a pool hustler named Fast Eddie Felson. And Fast Eddie gets the opportunity to play Minnesota Fats. And I don't want to give the entire plot away, but it's basically the trials and tribulations of a young pool hustler going up against the greatest pool player there ever was. What it did to his life, his relationship between his girlfriend and himself, and he actually ended up playing Minnesota Fats several times during the film. But the acting in it was fantastic. It's listed in AFI as one of their 100 greatest films of all time. Like I said, it was nominated for 8 Academy Awards, and I'm not sure who won the Academy Awards that year. I know that The Hustler didn't win, but I can't imagine how great the film must be that actually won, because this film was fantastic. It's definitely going to be a DVD that I hold on to for the rest of my life and go back to and watch again and again. Mm-hmm. So if you like Paul Newman and you like films kind of in the sports realm, you can't lose with this one. Fantastic film. I would rate this film between 0 and 100. I would give it a solid 95.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's that good. I can't think of anybody in that film that didn't give one of their best performances.
I agree. But the story itself, for me, runs too slow. Mm-hmm. It's slow. Mm-hmm. It's real slow. I mean, didn't I fall asleep the first time you played it?
Possibly. I don't remember. So. I don't remember.
I mean, it runs slow. It's wonderful performances. The storyline's great, but it is like really slow. I love the story. I love the acting. But there's, I guess, I'll give it an 80.
An 80. Okay.
It's fair enough. I mean,
mm-hmm.
I mean, Jackie Gleason's really good, you know.
Yeah.
He's pretty much stereotyped in my head. Mm-hmm. But and same with George C. Scott, you know. Mm-hmm. But the storyline, the acting, all that is great. But it was too slow, and I wish it was in color. Black and white just made it not so interesting. You have the pool tables with the colored balls and stuff. It's all black and white, so it's like mm-hmm. not so. That would help keep my interest, I guess. But,
well, one of the things that I really enjoyed about the film was the cameo performances. Jake LaMotta actually plays a small role in the film, the great boxer, mm-hmm. and also Willie Mosconi, the legendary pool hustler. Mm-hmm. Did a lot of the tricks and he was a technical advisor in the film, but he did a lot of the pool tricks or pool shots in the film. So anyhow, I love the film. I think that this was one of Paul Newman's greatest performances, and so there you have it. Hopefully you guys enjoy these two films as much as we did. And until next time, have fun watching films.
Yeah.
Strange RV tours will take you places with Greg and Janet's smiling faces. You might see a crazy flavored soda review or some tips to fit your RV too. So come along, won't you join us, friend, as we discover what's around the bend. Just sit right back in your easy chair. Strange RV Tours is on the air. Strange RV Tours is on.